Hello everyone, Scan here with GLHFtv. We've waited long enough, so here we go right away. Let's start AE Changes Volume 4. Cody's biggest change is that his forward roundhouse can now combo into EX Criminal Upper. You'll also find that his crouching light kick is a bit better of a poke than it used to be, and that you can pick up your knife from slightly further away than you used to. Not a huge distance, but enough to notice. Guy's close light kick had a slight damage nerf, but to trade off with that, the startup and recovery of his standing medium kick was made faster. Also, his overhead is now a 2-hit, a great buff. The biggest change though is to his EX run. His EX run is now projectile invincible when he slides, but more importantly has permanent hyper armor. Balrog's biggest changes come in the form of his headbutt. On miss, it now has more recovery, and overall, it does less damage. You're going to find also that his standing jab whiffs over all crouched opponents. His Ultra 2 input was also changed. It used to be 360 motions and then all 3 punches. It is now half circle back twice and all 3 punches. So you're going to find fewer players who actually use this move are going to jump before it hits. Dudley's jumping hard kick now slams your opponent to the ground. This is a great way to take the wind out of their sails in the middle of a match. You're also going to find that the hitboxes of both of his forward medium punch and his forward hard kick were slightly buffed, so they connect from slightly further away. His biggest change is that he now has an EX form of his duck, which can be cancelled after just 3 frames of animation and comboed into. Dan has had a ton of changes done to his normals across the board. Don't take him lightly anymore. Dan can actually pull off some pretty decent and pretty high damage combos if you let him get in close to you. The damage distribution over all of his Dan kicks was also changed drastically. They do slightly less damage than they used to. Also, you're going to find that if he trades with one of his dragon punches, he's going to land on his feet. He's going to have an air reset, but he needed one nerf at least. Gets poked out of Ultra 2. Hakan's a much better character than he used to be, although that's not really saying much. From Oil Slide, you can now press kick to immediately oil up, and his oil now stacks. This is crucial to his gameplay, because you can use that oil to buffer some of his normals during a dash. Hakan's Oil Slider can now be comboed out of a forward light kick as well. You can also cancel into the guard position out of his oil dive. This means that you can use an oil dive to build meter. You can also combo into slide now out of a jumping medium punch. Dhalsim has only seen a few changes in Arcade Edition. His super now does less damage than it used to in Super Street Fighter 4. You'll also find that he can now combo 2 down-back medium punches into a Yoga Flame, but EX Yoga Flame was also given a pretty significant damage nerf. El Fuerte can now chain combo from a crouching light punch. That means if you have super, you can go straight into it. His guacamole throw also has more recovery, so it's much more unsafe than it used to be, and his Ultra 2 startup was significantly slowed down. Bison's roundhouse now has 2 specific hitboxes. If you are hit with the toe of his foot, it's only going to do 80 damage, but if you are hit from the knee down, it's going to go all the way up to 110. His leg scissors in their light kick form now push yourself away further from your opponent than they used to. This makes corner pressure much more difficult than it used to be. His super is now completely projectile invincible as well. His Ultra 2 input was also changed. It used to be down, forward, all 3 kicks. It's now a charge motion, down, back, forward, and all 3 punches. This makes it much harder to play Bison with the anti-projectile game that he had in Super Street Fighter 4. Gen is even more of a high-pressure character than he used to be. He now has 2 new target combos, both of which are special cancelable. Crouching light kick into crouching medium kick, and the first hit of his standing fierce punch into medium kick. His standing medium punch is also special cancelable now, even on block. This means if he gets you in the corner, he's going to have some very high level block strings to hit against you. Both versions of his Ultra 2 were also slightly changed. The ground version of his Ultra 2 had its hitbox extended further downward so it can hit crouching opponents from further away. The air version had its overall speed upgraded. Unfortunately for Vega, he's seen mostly nerfs. Both his crouching medium punch and his crouching medium kick have seen slight damage nerfs compared to their super versions. His cosmic heal was also given significantly more recovery if it's blocked. This means you have to be very careful about the distance from your opponent with which you choose to use the cosmic heal. His only buff comes in that his EX roll can now be comboed into crouching medium punch, but his biggest nerf is that, just like El Fuerte, his Ultra 2 startup time was nerfed. Now, I'm not much of a Fei Long player, but I can tell you for certain that many of his normals have had a significant speed upgrade. His EX Chicken Wing, though, is no longer projectile invincible, so you can't use it nearly as much as you used to, but his EX Rekka now has faster recovery even on block. Again, I'd just like to thank everyone for your constant support of GLHF.tv. Please check out the rest of the videos in the AE Changes series, as well as our original Intro and Tactics series covering Yun, Yang, Oni, and Evil Ryu. If you have any suggestions for future videos or future series you would like to see, please tell us on our Facebook or our Twitter pages.